Okay, hi Raj, how are you?
I'm good. Hi, Vivek.
Okay. So I think today we are going to discuss about fixed income. So before we start, when you hear the word fixed income, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Income which is fixed which on a monthly basis or yearly basis, depending on the interest rate.
Okay, okay, that's good. So
Something
if you have to give some example, can you give me some example of fixed income,
like a fixed deposit,
fixed deposit, anything else?
income from fixed deposit, or probably a rental income at least for a year where it is fixed, right?
Okay,
When
rental
we know
income, that's
it will be fixed or we'll get regular income out of that.
okay. So, what do you think? Is equity market bigger or fixed income market bigger?
I think equity market is bigger because maybe
Okay.
other way around it should be, but
Okay. So, in Indian context, it's true. We Indian actually think that equity market is bigger, but if you go globally, fixed market is way bigger than our equity market. So, when we say fixed income, it is true that fixed income is something which is offering a fixed return every quarterly or yearly or half yearly basis. We're getting a fixed return. That is a good notion to have, but it is actually more than that. There are certain thing called floating rate of interest or variable interest, which fixed income security might also offer. So depending upon, say, if I have to give an example, there is a inflation linked securities, which is also a fixed security only, but depending upon the inflation, the rate of interest varies also, but that also come under fixed income gamut. So our fixed income securities definitely it covers fixed deposit. Uh, Even the government issues fixed income securities, which is called bond. The corporate issue debentures. There are like bank issues credit card to you, right? Even that is also an example of fixed income only. So we never have thought of it, but once we start making default in our payment, bank used to charge 36% yearly interest rate, which is a fixed income for them. So yeah, it's very big market. Even equity market is not half of the fixed market. And if you have to see the impact of it, nowadays we are hearing in US, the Fed is considering to increase the interest rate. Any idea what is currently the interest rate which US Fed is offering on the Treasury bond?
no, two
So
three
it
percent.
is, yeah, it is around 1.9% for the 10-year bond. It currently they're offering 1.9%. And they're going to increase the rate for maybe hardly 5 or
Yeah,
10 basis point, which will make it 2%. But just because they're increasing the rate by 5 or 10 basis point, it's gonna have so much huge impact that people will shift their money allocation from equity and they will put that thing in the equity in the fixed income market. So definitely fixed income market is providing you the security which equity market don't provide you, because in equity market it contains certain bit of risk. Definitely the risk is there in the fixed income securities as well, but it's comparatively way lesser than the equity market securities. So let's try to
I
understand. Yeah,
when you say
one
credit
question.
card, also fixed income for the banks. So it is not regular, but right. So for example, there are 10 customers. It might not be
Mhm.
regular for the bank that all 10 customers might default. So the word fixed, is it the income that will be fixed when the customer defaults, or on a regular basis they'll earn income? That is what you call as
Okay.
fixed income.
Okay, so basically, fixed income means what? My revenue stream is defined. Like every month, I'll be getting this much interest. So I'm not saying that there is no risk in fixed income securities. There are like a lot of risk involved, even in fixed income securities as well. It's just that the rate of interest will be kind of fixed. So after say
Fixed.
50 days, if you're defaulting, they will start charging you 3% monthly interest rate, which is
So
kind
it's
of a
basic
fixed.
interest rate which defines the word fixed
Yes,
income and not
yes.
the interval frequency of the income.
And the thing you said, it's a risk on the fixed income securities. So even we'll understand what are the risks we are going to have in the fixed income securities in this lecture itself. So there we'll cover that. There is certain thing called credit risk, which you are talking about. We'll cover that in a short while. So let's get started. So let me share my screen to give you just what exactly is fixed income, and I will try to understand certain nuances. So as we said, in the fixed income securities, what we are getting is interest, right?
Yeah,
So why we are getting interest? Any idea why the government is sorry, if we are doing a fixed deposit, why the bank is offering us the interest?
because we are making a deposit with them. That's why they have to pay us.
So the right term is that actually we are compromising the rewards which we are getting today. We are sacrificing that in the future period. So I can buy for that same amount, I can buy something today, but I am actually deferring it for the next year. So that sacrifice, because of that, bank is offering us that interest.
Okay.
Right. So if I say I
Yeah.
have to buy something, I have to buy an iPhone, right, for 1 lakh rupees. But instead of buying it today, I said, okay, after 1 year, I'll be buying this iPhone. So I'm actually doing a compromise for myself. So because of that, they are actually compensating for that compromise. So in an ideal world, assume that there are no risk at all, right? So we are in a risk-free world where there is a no chance of default and there is no inflation, no tax. In the ideal world, the interest will be risk-free real interest rate. This is a term which we define. So if there is an ideal world, there is no risk, there is no inflation, it's a real amount, then the rate of interest is 5%. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So there is no risk. Obviously, we don't we are not running with the risk that the counterparty will be defaulting. So it's a risk-free, real, as in there is no inflation. So it's a real 0% inflation. It's an interest rate. So if there are like no risk, no inflation, then we will be getting 5% interest rate. But we are actually not living in that kind of a world, right?
Yeah.
So we have, say, in our current world, we have an inflation, right? So
Yeah.
supposingly you wanna buy iPhone today for 1 lakh rupees. After 1 year, what do you think? We'll be getting iPhone at 1 lakh rupees only.
No, it might be less, or might become costlier. In fact,
Might become
costlier.
costlier. So everything
Yeah.
the price get increased over a period of time. Say every
Yeah.
year it is increasing by 4%, which is like our consumer price index.
Yeah.
So if there are inflation, then I would say risk-free nominal. So what should be my risk-free nominal interest rate? Means the bank has to offer me this for compromising my current consumption and the inflation.
Yeah.
The bank has to offer me this. So if I have to change it to this thing, or I can say simply, so in finance world, we are actually following the multiplication approach. We will not simply add 5 plus 4. Even we do the multiplication approach. I'll come back to this, why we need the multiplication approach. So you must be wondering,
Okay.
the inflation rate should be only what?
9%.
9%, but it's actually
Yeah.
not 9%, it's 9.2%. Why? Because you need the inflation needs to be adjusted not on 100 rupees, but the 5% interest rate, what I'm getting, even the inflation will affect that amount as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I got your answer. Yeah.
Got my point, right? Okay, fine. So if government will be issuing a security, if it is issuing me 9.2%, I'm happy with it. But what if a corporate is issuing that security? So corporate, we are running actually a risk that they might default, right? So that for
Yeah.
that we need a risk premium for say default, if, or I can say credit risk, say that is 3%. So I actually want a risk premium of 3% on this amount, on this
On my
9.2%.
9.2%.
Yeah. So it will come around 12.5%. So we'll revise it once again. Okay. So if we are living in an ideal world where there is a no risk, nothing, no inflation, then what should be the rate of interest I should be getting?
5.
Okay. If government is issuing these securities, and considering we have an inflation of 4%, what should I be expecting rate of interest?
9.2%.
And what about the corporate if it is issuing?
That becomes 12.5. So
Okay.
can I explain how 12.5 is calculated, or how we get 12.5? So it's
So basically what I have
3% on
done,
9.2%, or in addition to.
so basically I'm adding
Okay,
this 3%
this.
on 9.2%.
Okay, adding. Okay.
Correct. So basically I'm multiplying. So I can do either. See, I have already done this much. So I have actually multiplied this rate of interest 3% on this 9.2%.
Okay, which is again the multiplication formula. Okay.
Correct. So maybe if I have to go in a reverse order, say 12.5% I'm getting on a corporate debenture. So what should be my rate of interest on government bond? If I have to do a back calculation, what I can do? I can do a addition. Sorry, I'll have to divide.
Minus. Okay.
Right.
Divide. Right. Okay.
So let me check. Sorry. So now are you able to see it? So I'm getting 9.2.
Yeah.
So for addition, I'm
Yeah.
doing a multiplication. For subtraction, I'm doing a division.
Right.
Similar way, I can get it. So what are the things which we have already discussed so far? So we have actually discussed that there are three components for a interest rate. Right. And what are those three components which we have already discussed? There is something called risk-free real rate of return. There is something called interest. There is something called risk premium.
Risk premium. Okay.
We have covered all these three, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Now we understand that what are the three components of interest rate. Now we'll see. So there is an inverse relationship between my bond price or debenture price and the rate of interest. When I'm saying inverse relationship, so if I have to simply put, if the price of a bond will increase, my rate of interest will decrease. And if the rate of interest will increase, my price will decrease. Are you able to understand this?
Yeah. Costlier the bond, the interest rate is less. That's what you mean, right?
Simply. So if I have to give an example, if I do an FD, right, and I'm getting 5% rate of interest, right, currently, right? If it is offering me more rate of interest, say 8%, then that portion will decrease. If I have to simply give you an example, supposingly a government is issuing a bond, okay, so which is the face value of which is 1,000 rupees, okay,
Yeah.
and okay, let me not give you this example. Let me try to help you. So government is issuing a bond which has a face value of 1,000, right, and it is offering me 12% coupon rate.
Okay.
Okay, so every year what I'm getting 120 rupees as an interest rate. So now, and the price of this government bond is 950 rupees in the market. It's quoting as 950 rupees. Now I have to understand whether this government bond is trading cheaper or it's a costlier bond. I have to ascertain that. How can I do it? Any idea?
So basically you're saying in the market, the bond is available at a price of 950 rupees.
Yes. So it's a market value is 950 rupees. Okay.
But if I
And
buy it from market at present at 950, the interest income that I'm getting, will it still be 120 or will it be on 950?
sorry, come again.
So the market value of the bond is 950. My
Mhm.
interest income will still be 120 or will the 12% be calculated on 950?
Good question. So for bond, the coupon interest rate is always calculated on the face value.
Face value. Okay.
So irrespective of its price, you will get the coupon as 120 only.
Okay.
So that will be
So then
fixed.
isn't it? So I think seeing from the figures that you have put, I think it isn't it cheaper that I'm getting the bond at 950 where the face value is 1000.
Correct. So on the face of it, it looks like, okay, I'm getting 12%, but the price is only 950. So it's a cheaper thing, right?
Yeah.
That's a good observation to have. But the only problem is that when we try to value a security, we don't see what are the rate of interest it is offering. We see what are the similar securities in the market is offering. So even if you
Okay.
go and if you go to buy certain product in the market, what you'll do, you'll go shop to four houses, four different shops, and you'll
Compare.
try to compare where I'm getting the cheapest rate, right? So
Yeah.
similarly, I'll see in the market for 1,000 face value of the security, what is the rate, maximum rate of interest I'm getting in the market? Say that is
Okay.
14%.
Okay. With this similar risk, right?
Similarly, everything is same. I am getting a similar government bond in the market for 14%, right? So what do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah.
What should be the price of it?
We'll have to probably divide the market value of the bond with the interest rate that's available for similar security.
Yeah. So if it is 950 rupees, so for this 14%, the rate of interest should have been 133 rupees. Ideally should
Yeah.
have of if it would have offered me 133 rupees, then 950 was justified. But it is
Hmm.
offering me
But
what?
it's
120 only.
only
So
120.
to get 120 rupees interest rate, what I have to do, I have to simply divide this 14% with 120 rupees to get
Hmm.
857 rupees. So if I buy a security for 857 rupees in the market, and if I'm getting just 14% rate of interest, I will be getting 120 rupees.
Yeah.
So the should be price of this government bond should be what? 857 rupees.
857. Okay.
So this 857 rupees is something called its intrinsic value. So what is intrinsic value? The value it should have. So what I
Value
should
it
be
should
paying,
be
yeah, so its
available
fair
to be
value
purchased.
should be 857 rupees only. But whereas in the market, I'm getting the same securities at 950 rupees. So what would you say?
Okay.
Is it a cheap or is it expensive
It's
security?
costly.
It's a costly security, right? So I can simply say
Yeah.
it's a costly security. And rather than going long into it, I should go
Short.
short on the security. Correct?
Yeah.
That's a fair observation, because on a longer term, this price will come down to 857 rupees. So intrinsic value is a value which that security should achieve on a longer period of time. In short run, it may deviate. It can be 800, it can be 900, anything. But on a longer run, it should come to 857 rupees. That's our understanding. You're getting my
Okay.
point, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now we will try to actually determine how should we value a bond. Okay. So I have to give. I'll give you a simple example. Supposingly, the government has issued a 5-year security. Okay. 5-year bond, and I'm getting 120 rupees every year, and I'm getting 120 rupees. And on the 5th year, what I'll be getting the government will pay me back my 1,000 rupees, and 120 rupees. So that is the cash flow I'll be getting from this security. Okay. So basically it's a
Yeah.
5-year bond. So which will offer me 12% rate of interest every year. And on the 5th year, government will pay me 120 rupees plus they will give me my initial value 1000 rupees.
Interest.
That's the cash flow I'm getting. Now I have to value this security. What should be the value of this security? So simply, if we have to define the value of a security, how can we do it?
The cash flow of that security.
Simply, if I have to determine the value of some security, what I have to do, I have to understand what is its earning potential, how much it's going to give me. The value is determined basis in future. What are the things? What are the value it's gonna provide me? It is applicable for anything in the world, even for a human being. If I have to ascertain his net worth, what I'll do, I'll think that in the future how much he's going to earn. I'll try to bring that value to the present value to determine it. When I'm saying present value, see 120 rupees it will give me at a year end. So today the value of 120 will be much lesser than what it will be after the year. Have you heard the term called discounting?
Yeah.
Right. So discounting is nothing but what I'm doing. I'm taking the value from future and I'm taking it or converting it in the today's term.
Present.
So if 120 rupees is the value I'm going to get after 1 year, what should be the present value of this? It should be less than that. Supposing that I'm running a rate of interest of 14%. As I said, the similar security in the market is offering me 14%. Okay. So what should be its value? So this
120 divided by 14.
So the value of 120 rupees after 1 year, it is actually 105 rupees in today's term.
We're just discounting it at the present value.
Correct. So 14%, you can do it in this way only. If I have 105 rupees today, I go to the bank, I deposited it with a rate of interest of 14%, right? So after 1 year,
Yeah.
1 year, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get
14%,
right?
120.
So which is like 14 rupees interest. And if I have to add this, I'm coming at 120 rupees. So this is, we are actually taking this cash flow to the future. Similarly, I'm doing the same exercise. I'm actually taking back that future value and I'm ascertaining the present value of it. So this is called present value. This is my interest and this is my future value. We'll check both way, okay? Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So 14% is constant. Similarly, if I have to ascertain the present value of this, so 120 rupees I'll be getting after 2 years. What should be its present value? Can it be 105 rupees?
No, it should be lesser than that.
Right.
Because it's after 2 years.
So what I'm doing power 2. So basically I'm discounting it double. So it should be 92 rupees. Let me give you the same example. If I have to, if I deposit 92 rupees today in the bank, so what I'll get after 2 years?
2 years. Divide by 2.
Should be 1 plus, see, 120 rupees. Yeah. Okay. So it's simple. You are with me, right? As of now. Yeah, similarly, after 3 years, what should be the value? I'll make the power as 3. Similarly, 4th year, what I'll do, I'll simply make it 4. Right. And for the 5th year, what I'll do, I'll make it 5. Yeah. Okay. And what I'll do, I'll simply do a summation of all these cash flow. So what I'm getting, 931 rupees. So the present value of all these cash flow is coming what, 931 rupees, correct? So the
Yeah.
intrinsic
Yeah.
value of that security is 931 rupees. So if I'm getting this bond lesser than 931 rupees, it's a good buy for me. If it is more than 931 rupees, it's not a good buy for me. I should avoid that security, or rather, I should go short on that security.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any doubt? Anything you have?
No, I think this is good.
This is good, right? Okay, fine. So now,
In
initially,
column E, how will you calculate for the remaining 3 years?
you want me to do it?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I should be
we'll
getting
just multiply
120
into
rupees.
3.
Yeah, I should be getting 120 rupees in each of the cases. What I did wrong here, I didn't added one here.
Yeah.
So basically, I did discounting, I did future value as well.
Yeah. Okay.
You're getting my point, right?
Yes.
Any doubt you have?
No, I think it's clear now.
It's clear, right? So the value should be 931. You're with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So initially, you remember that you said in the credit card example that even in fixed income securities, we are running at a risk, right?
Yeah. Credit risk.
Yes, correct. So there are two kind of a risk which we have in fixed income securities. And what are these? So in a fixed income securities, I have two risks. One is credit risk and one is interest rate risk. So what is credit risk? We'll try to understand this. Okay. So credit risk has even three components out of it. So one is a default risk where the counterparty may default. He may not be able to pay you back. So
Pay
that
me
is
back.
the
Yeah.
risk we are always running into. There's something called downgrade risk. What is downgrade risk? Supposingly, when the bank lend some amount to you, then your credit score was say 800, but in future your credit score may have gone down because you have made default in some other payments.
Default.
Because of that, it came down to say 700. What do you think? The bank will offer you the same rate of interest, or it will increase the rate of interest?
It will increase.
Yeah. So even that is the risk that they are getting, that the client's credit rating might decrease. So that is another risk. There's something called spread risk. Okay. I have explained you that concept before. Let me again try to bring you that. So initially we have discussed that for a government bond, the rate of interest is 9.2%, but for a corporate bond, it's 12.5%, right?
Yeah.
So we are getting this risk premium called 3%, right?
Yeah.
This is nothing but a spread on a corporate
Great.
bond. So this is called spread. Okay. So what happens if the economy is doing well? So this spread will come down, because what happened if everything we are going in a boom phase where economy is doing well, there is no difference between government and a corporate bond, because we know that nobody is going to default, everything is going good. So this risk premium will be lesser when our economy is doing well. But if we are going, say, in a recession time, so similar to what we have faced during the coronavirus time, where the corporate are defaulting, where there are like a lot of cases where the companies are not able to uh, sustain, right? So then the risk is a lot more. Even we'll prefer that we'll invest in something which is like more stable rather than investing in a risky venture. In that time, we want more risk premium rather than lesser. So if the economy is doing well, the risk premium will be lesser. But if the economy is going towards a recession or say on depression, I would rather be investing my amount in the government bond and getting the lesser return. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
So we are running that risk as well, which is called spread risk. That if the economy will not do well, the spread will increase.
Yeah.
Okay, and if the economy is doing well, this spread will go down. So these are the three kind of a credit risk we have. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's another risk which is called interest rate risk. What is interest rate risk?
Something which the interest rate at which I should be getting the money goes up and down.
Yeah. So it can always happen, but even we are actually facing that. So 2 years back, we used to get 7% interest in the FD, right? But now
Yeah.
what is the rate of interest we are getting? 1 year back, it was around 5%. Now they are actually increasing it to 5.5 or 6%. So that is the
Yeah.
risk actually, that interest rate might go down or go up. So there's a fluctuation, interest rate fluctuation risk that we are running into. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have actually covered the discounting cash flow concept, right? So
Yeah.
where what we do, we are actually bringing those cash flows to the present value by discounting it. It's a similar formula what we have. Okay. So now we are going to understand what is interest rate fluctuation. Okay. So if my interest rate will go up, say from 12%, it goes up to 13%. So what will be the impact? Whether the price of that bond will increase or decrease?
Increase.
If my interest rate will go up, what will happen to my bond price? Should it go up or
Interest
should it
at
go
which
down?
which basically the income that will increase, right?
Yeah, the price should decrease or increase. You give a thought. I will
Price of
just.
the bond.
You give a thought. I'll just put a charge on my laptop. Just in a minute. So remember, Raj, when we initially spoke, what we said that a 950 rupees bond, which is offering 12%, having a face value of 100 and market value of 950, you're saying it's trading at cheap, right? But the moment we make interest rate as 14%, suddenly it was looking expensive.
Yeah.
So, and I said what? There is an inverse relationship between interest rate and price, right?
Yeah.
So if my interest rate will increase, so the moment I increase the rate from 12 to 14%, that 1,000 rupees bond become 857 rupees.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Right?
should go down.
Correct. So the moment my interest rate will increase, the bond price will decrease. And if the interest rate decreases, the price will increase. So let me show you with an example. Okay. You may not be able to appreciate it now. So this is the exercise we have done so far, right? Where we ascertain the bond value as 931 only, right? When the interest rate was what? 14%. Now I'll try to
14%.
see if I give a shock to that interest rate. If I'll increase that interest rate, what will happen to the price? And if I decrease the interest rate, what will happen to that price? We'll see it, okay? Just to have, because you're not getting that confidence as of now. So let me tell you, if I make it 14.8%, say I increase the rate by 0.8%. So ideally, what should happen? The price should increase or decrease?
It should decrease.
It should decrease. Let's see what is happening. Is it increasing or decreasing? I've done the same exercise. I can show you the columns and all. You have already seen this.
Yeah, it is decreasing.
Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll actually what we have done, we'll now decrease the rate of interest. We'll see what is the impact it is getting. Same exercise. What is the price?
Rate of interest is something which is in market, or this is the rate of interest?
This is the market rate of interest.
Market.
This is the market rate of interest. For bond valuation, I said we always take the market value. We are not concerned with its own rate. So
the issuer
what is
rate
happening?
We are not considering.
Correct. So what is the value I'm getting? Its price is increasing, right?
Increasing, yeah.
So are we confident if the rate of interest will increase, the price will decrease, and the vice versa?
Yeah.
So we're clear with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a bond has a very good actually feature, uh, which I have to say you. There's a concept called convexity. Have you heard that term?
I've just heard the term, but I don't know what it means.
Okay. I'll explain it to you. So bond has a very good feature. You know what? If the rate of interest will increase, the price will decrease, but it will decrease at a slower rate. But if the interest rate will decrease, the price will increase at a higher rate. If I have to show you, I'll show you in this figure. So, okay. So this is a diagram which will explain you the convexity of this. So, size it. You're able to see it, right? So say
Yeah.
this is the figure, right? So say assume this is my 14%, right? This is 14%. This is 13.2 and this is 14.8. The three rate of interest what we
Hmm.
have defined. And here we will put the price 931, 950. The price is what we have ascertained, right? So if you
Hmm.
see for 0.8% decrease in the rate, what will be my price? It will be not this much, it will be actually this much. Are you able to see my cursor?
Yeah.
Right? So this actually difference is more rather than this. Whereas if I decrease the rate from this to this, the price, this distance will be actually lesser. This is actually
Hmm.
increasing more, but this distance is less. That is called convexity. So this is actually a linear diagram where everything is same, the distance is same. But if I have to see in this convex diagram, that distance will actually vary. So when this will decrease, this distance will be increasing. But whereas if it is increasing, this distance will not be that much. So ideally in for the bond, we have a convex diagram where if my rate of interest will decrease, my price will increase at a higher rate. Whereas if the rate of interest will increase, the bond value will decrease at a lesser rate.
Hmm.
Okay. But for our
Yeah.
actually for our simplicity, for our calculation, we actually use a linear diagram rather than using this convex diagram. I'll tell you the reason maybe later when we'll try to understand the convexity. Again, with this example, you'll be able to appreciate it more. If you see the from 8% to 6%, ideally it is in actually the price is increasing from 60 to 80, but in a real world, it will increase to 85. So this distance will be more compared to this.
Yeah.
Okay. So far,
Yeah.
are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll try to understand the concept of duration. Have you heard duration before?
Yeah. And the time taken or the maturity period probably.
Okay. So if I have to simply put, we'll try to learn a concept called effective duration. Okay. So basically, you have seen, right? So if I will give a shock of say 0.8% on a both the direction, the price will change, right?
Yeah.
So now I have to try to understand that if my interest rate will say change by 1%, what will be the impact on my price? Definitely, if rate of interest will increase, my price will go down, right?
Go down.
But
Yeah.
by what percent? Any
That might
guesses?
differ. I don't know.
Okay. So by what percent
Hmm.
it will go down? That is something which effective duration will give me. So effective
Okay.
duration will tell me if my interest rate will change by say a percent, what will be the impact on price? Now I have to see how
Okay.
can I define that? How can I get that price? Sorry, how can I calculate that effective duration? So we have a formula for effective duration. Let's see whether I can. Yeah. So for a effective duration, as I said, effective duration is nothing but impact of interest rate shock. And it has a formula which is defined P2 minus P1 divided by 2 into P0 into change in Y. Are you able to understand this?
Yeah, P is price, right?
P is price, yeah.
Okay.
Are you able to understand this formula?
No, maybe with an example we can understand better.
So basically what it is saying, if I change my rate of interest, this is change in rate of interest, right? Say if I'll make a change in rate of interest, definitely the price. So what is currently my current price? It will change, right? So if I decrease the rate of interest, the price will increase, which will be P2. And if I increase the rate of interest, my price will go down. So let me give you an example. What is this P2 and P1? P2 is basically if I decrease the rate of interest, what will be the price I'm getting? So which is nothing, but we have already actually calculated this for you, right? So this is P1, where I'll be increasing the rate of interest by 0.8%. I'll be getting what? 905. And if I decrease the rate of interest, I'll be getting what? 957 rupees. 957. So this will be my P2 and this will be my P1. Okay. And what was my P0? This is 931.
Yeah.
Okay. So the formula is saying what you do, you deduct P2 with P1. Okay. So this is what? 52 rupees difference I'm getting.
Yeah.
And this is numerator. What is the denominator saying? It's saying
2 times P0.
2 times P0.
931.
Right? And multiply this with the change of interest rate. This you multiply by change of interest. So what is the change of interest rate I'm getting? So from 14%, I change it to what? 13.2%, 0.8% shock.
Yeah.
So this is what? 14. Right? So what I have to do? I think these are all in percentage term. Right? So what I'll do, I'll multiply this with this. So let me see the formula. So what I have done, I have already actually calculated it for you. So this is the same formula which we are getting. So what I have done, let me see this formula. Let me try to understand. K39. What is K39? Which is this one. This is P2, right? 957.
Yeah.
I'm deducting my P1, which is 905.
5, yeah. Divided by 2 times.
2 times E28. What is E28? Is my P0.
P0.
Right? And multiplied by C23 minus I34. What is C23? 14%. What is I34? 13.2%.
Change of interest rate. Yeah.
Correct? So what is I'm getting?
Yeah.
What I'm getting? 3.51.
3.5.
Right? What is this 3.51?
So if there is a change of interest rate by 1%, there'll be a change equal to 3.51 times probably.
So basically, if my interest rate will change by 1%, my price will change by 3.51% in the opposite direction. And this we are doing ignoring the convexity. Correct? Are you with me? When I'm saying convexity, if I have to say simply, I'm actually ascertaining this value rather than this value. So this convexity we are ignoring. We are taking a linear diagram, linear line, and then we are calculating. So we are calculating this price rather than taking convexity. So basically, when initially we said the interest rate fluctuation, basically we actually defined it with the help of effective duration. So in the effective duration, we are saying that if my interest rate will change by 1%, my price will fluctuate by 3.51%.
Okay. Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Fair enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any question, any doubt?
No, I think for now nothing.
Yeah, good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Raj will not extend this class any further. I know you're getting a little drowsy. So we'll close the class here. So maybe we'll connect later
Thank
for
you.
the future concept.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Raj.